What you are about to hear may sound simple, too simple, but it is the key that separates the dreamer from the achiever, the poor from the rich, the lost from the destined. 5 minutes. That is all it takes. 5 minutes that can turn the impossible into reality. You have been told that success takes years, that it demands luck, education, or connection. But the truth I discovered in a lifetime of study is far more powerful. Success begins in a sentence. One line spoken with faith can alter the entire structure of your destiny. There is a phrase, hidden, holy, and exact, that I will soon give you. A sequence of words that, when spoken with belief, charges your subconscious mind with the power of creation itself. I call it the daily decree, the short prayer that builds empires, restores health, and opens every locked door in the realm of possibility. But before you say it, you must understand why it works. The average man speaks in contradiction to his desires. He says he wants wealth and talks about debt. He prays for love and repeats loneliness. He asks for opportunity and complains of lack. He negates his own command before it ever reaches the infinite. And so life obeys confusion. It gives him more of what he thinks about most, not what he wishes for. That is the law. The subconscious does not argue, it executes. It does not judge, it obeys. It hears only the repeated order and manifests it with mathematical precision. Every failure in your life can be traced back to one thing: the absence of a definite command to the mind. You have drifted, reacted, waited, wished, but you have not declared. The universe does not move for the indecisive. It moves for the one who speaks his vision as fact. I once asked Andrew Carnegie how a man with nothing could become rich. He smiled and said, he must begin by acting as if he already is, not pretending, believing, speaking to his own mind as though the goal were already done. That is the bridge between thought and reality. There is a power that responds only to gratitude, the highest vibration of faith. Gratitude is proof that you believe your desire is already yours. It is the voice of certainty before the evidence appears. The man who can give thanks before receiving is the man who never fails to receive. For the next few minutes, I want you to imagine that every dream you hold, every goal, every vision, every silent desire has already been fulfilled. The house, the business, the peace, the freedom. Feel it, smell it, see it. Then realize this: it is not imagination. It is creation in its first stage. Now, in that state of gratitude, there are words, 7 divine words, that activate the law of attraction in its truest form. These words have built fortunes, saved marriages, restored health, and made the barren mind fertile with ideas. They are not mine. They are the language of all masters who have commanded reality through faith. Do not repeat them as poetry. Repeat them as command. Speak them not to the world, but to the infinite within. Let every syllable vibrate through your being until it becomes identity. Because until you speak like the man who has already succeeded, you will continue to live like the man who has not. You have heard many affirmations in your life. You have whispered wishes, muttered prayers, and made resolutions. But this one is different. This one ends all doubt, all waiting, all weakness. This one turns desire into possession, idea into result, word into flesh. What you are about to receive is the formula that rewires your entire vibration into certainty. But I warn you, once you speak it with belief, there is no going back. Life will begin to rearrange itself around your words. Opportunities will appear. Circumstances will shift. People will move. The law will obey you. Are you ready to command your world? Then sit upright, breathe deeply. Empty every thought except this, faith. The kind of faith that moves mountains, that opens doors, that answers prayers. The kind of faith that refuses to negotiate with reality and simply declares its own. In a moment, I will give you the decree, the line to repeat 100 times until your subconscious bends to your will. But first, remember this. Your repetition is your proof of belief. Each time you speak it, you are chiseling your new identity into the stone of the mind. Do not rush it. Do not doubt it. Speak it slowly, deliberately, as if engraving it upon eternity itself. For these words, once planted, will not die. They will work for you while you sleep, while you walk, while you face the world. They will burn away fear, silence doubt, and magnetize every good thing toward you. Here it is. The phrase that turns impossibility into fact. Do not just say it, become it. Speak it as if it were already true. I'm so happy and grateful that I already have the very thing I've been working for. Now, thank God I made it. If your dream is financial freedom, you might say, I'm so happy and grateful that I make $10,000 every month now. Thank God I made it. If it is love and abundance, I'm so happy and grateful that I am a happily married multimillionaire. Thank God I made it. If it is peace, health, or purpose, fill in your own vision. Let your mind see it as done, your heart feel it as real, and your voice speak it as law. There it is, the ancient code of creation disguised as gratitude, the sentence that holds both the seed and the harvest, the beginning and the end. Speak it until your very tone convinces heaven itself that you have already received. Repeat it 100 times a day, not begging but affirming, not hoping but knowing. Feel the vibration of completion in every word. See the result in your mind and do not let it go. The moment you can say it without resistance, without doubt, without hesitation, that moment the law begins to obey. This is not magic. It is mathematics of the spirit. It is the same principle by which Edison invented, by which Ford built, by which Rockefeller expanded, by which every great achiever rose from obscurity to power. They did not wait for proof. They spoke proof into existence. So when the world tells you something is impossible, remember, the word impossible was invented by those who stopped repeating their vision too soon. The law does not fail. Men fail to persist. You must repeat until your subconscious accepts your command as reality. 5 minutes a day, 100 repetitions, that is all. But those 5 minutes will be the most profitable of your life. For in them, you are shaping the unseen forces that shape everything else. Now, close your eyes. Picture your goal complete. Feel gratitude rising within you like light through water. Then speak the decree once more. I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now. Thank God I made it. And know this, if you will continue in that vibration of certainty, day after day, the impossible will not only become possible, it will become inevitable. Every great achievement begins in silence, then moves to speech, and finally becomes substance. The mind conceives, the lips command, and the world obeys. That is the invisible sequence through which every empire has been built. Every factory, invention, fortune, or freedom first existed as sound, a word spoken with conviction by one who believed more in law than in luck. The spoken word, when backed by faith, is the most powerful force known to man. It is the bridge between spirit and matter, the invisible law made audible. To speak a thing with gratitude and certainty is to instruct infinite intelligence to form it. The weak whisper doubts. The strong declare truth. The universe listens not to pleading, but to authority. You may think of this power lightly, but observe history, and you will see its pattern. Edison spoke light into a world of darkness. Ford spoke speed into a world of horses. Rockefeller spoke wealth into a world of want. Each of these men began as ordinary thinkers until they discovered the command of spoken faith. Their words were not requests, they were decrees. Every empire begins in the mouth of one man. Every downfall begins with words of fear. The law does not choose favorites, it responds to vibration. The tongue is the tool by which thought is molded into reality. To speak doubt is to command defeat. To speak gratitude is to release victory. That is the first principle of commanded creation. The mind may be imagined as a courtroom. Thought provides evidence, faith is the judge, and the spoken word is the final decree. Once that decree is made, the subconscious obeys without question. It does not ask whether your command is wise or foolish. It fulfills the dominant order that has been repeated with emotion. You are the judge of your own destiny, and your tongue is your gavel. The difference between saying and declaring is the difference between asking and commanding. Most men speak casually, hoping the world will notice their wish. The wise man speaks deliberately, knowing that his voice carries law. There is power in tone, in rhythm, in the certainty that comes from decision. The decree, "I am so happy and grateful that I have it now," is not poetry. It is possession spoken aloud. Ordinary prayer fails because it is filled with doubt. Begging does not move infinite intelligence, for begging admits separation. The moment you ask as if it were not yet yours, you deny your own authority. True prayer is gratitude. Gratitude is not the voice of waiting, it is the voice of having. When you say, "Thank God I made it," you proclaim the law fulfilled. You speak as master, not as servant. When Andrew Carnegie taught me his philosophy of riches, he said, "Every man must begin by acting and speaking as though he already has that which he seeks." He did not mean deceit. He meant faith. Faith spoken so often that it becomes nature. The mind does not distinguish between future and present. It accepts what is spoken repeatedly as fact. Speak possession long enough, and life begins to arrange itself to make your words true. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It cannot decide what seeds to reject. It will grow thorns or wheat with equal vigor. What you plant daily through repetition, it will return multiplied. Therefore, speak only what you wish to see. Every word is a seed. Every repetition is water. Every emotion is sunlight. Gratitude is the greatest fertilizer of them all. It closes the distance between desire and fulfillment. When you thank before receiving, you announce that you have already received. The subconscious hears gratitude as evidence of completion and begins to organize all conditions to match it. The decree, "I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now," is the sound of faith closing the gap. Understand this clearly. Repetition is not superstition. It is spiritual science. The mind learns through rhythm. Each repetition strengthens the pattern. It engraves a track in the subconscious until it becomes automatic. When you repeat an idea long enough, it ceases to be suggestion and becomes self-image. That self-image then directs behavior, attracts conditions, and becomes destiny. Edison did not merely think of the electric light, he spoke of it until his helpers believed him mad. Yet his voice was faith made audible. "I will illuminate the world," he declared. Henry Ford, when engineers swore that an 8-cylinder engine was impossible, said only, "Produce it." He did not argue, he commanded. The tone of his decision carried more energy than the doubt of 100 men. Rockefeller was asked during a financial panic why he was calm when banks were collapsing. He replied, "Because I believe in the prosperity of this nation." That was his decree. While others spread fear, he spoke faith, and faith multiplied his fortune. These men understood what few ever learn. The law does not respond to argument. It responds to decision voiced in faith. The science of conviction is simple. Speak what you desire with feeling. Repeat it until doubt weakens. Let gratitude be your proof of belief. Speak as if every syllable were backed by the authority of God Himself. That is how infinite intelligence hears it. For faith is its own language. There is an invisible link between thought and vibration. Thought unspoken is seed in the soil of the mind. Speech releases it into the ether where it gathers its likeness. Every word carries tone. That tone determines the speed and form of its manifestation. Speak harshly and you sow resistance. Speak peacefully and you summon harmony. Speak gratefully and you magnetize abundance. You are not merely repeating a sentence, you are constructing the pattern of your future. The decree, "I am so happy and grateful that I have it now," is a formula of mental chemistry. It combines faith, the belief in unseen power, gratitude, the emotional signature of completion, and definiteness, the clear picture of purpose. These three together produce creative combustion. Every time you declare your gratitude, you reinforce that combustion. Each repetition chisels away uncertainty, like a sculptor removing stone to reveal the form within. That is why repetition must be daily. You are building an identity, a mental structure through which infinite intelligence can act. Stop too soon and the form remains unfinished. Persist until your thought is alive with emotion, until you feel your desire as already yours. The world will begin to see your transformation before results appear. Others will sense it in your eyes, in your calmness, in your speech. They will not understand why, but they will feel a magnetism around you. Confidence is silent power. It radiates more loudly than words. They will call it luck, but it is law. If you wish to understand this law, observe how men of vision speak. They never say, "I hope." They say, "I will." They never say, "if." They say, "when." Their vocabulary excludes defeat. Each word they utter builds rather than destroys. Their tongues are the architects of faith. The weak mind speaks reactively. It describes life as it appears. The strong mind speaks creatively. It describes life as it must become. Every declaration of gratitude lifts the mind from effect to cause, from servant to master. When you say, "I have it now," you step out of time into truth. The universe itself was spoken into being. "Let there be light" was not a wish, it was command. And light appeared because law must obey definite sound. You, made in the image of the Creator, possess that same creative faculty. Every time you speak with conviction, you echo that original decree. Let this affirmation guide you. I speak my reality with authority. My words carry law. I am the voice through which infinite intelligence acts. Speak it until it feels alive. Let the vibration of certainty rise from your chest until it fills the room. That is the sound of faith taking shape. Remember, the world does not move for the indecisive. It moves for the one who commands. Speak little, but speak with belief. Speak less of what is wrong and more of what must be right. The law hears only repetition, and the repetition of gratitude transforms all conditions. Each morning, declare your success before the day begins. Each night, thank the infinite for its completion. Let no idle complaint escape your mouth, for each word of doubt delays your fortune. Keep your speech definite, your tone confident, your emotion grateful. Those who master their words master their world. For the word is the first motion of creation, and gratitude is its seal. If you would command the impossible into reality, begin not with effort, but with expression. Say the words, mean them, repeat them, and the unseen will move to make them flesh. So remember this law. One sentence spoken with unwavering faith contains more power than 1,000 actions made in fear. The man who learns to speak as if all he seeks is already his stands among the masters of creation. Therefore begin today. Stand before the mirror of destiny and say, I am so happy and grateful that I have it now. Thank God I made it. Speak it with breath steady, eyes lifted, and heart certain. You are not repeating poetry. You are issuing divine command. And the moment you do, the impossible begins its march toward reality. Faith is not a mystery to be worshipped from afar. It is a vibration to be understood and practiced. Every thought you hold sends a current into the invisible ocean of energy in which you live. Every emotion adds force to that current. And when you speak a thought charged with feeling, it becomes a wave that moves through the ether, organizing matter and circumstance according to its tone. This is the true mechanics of faith. The average man believes that only physical action creates results. He measures life by the labor of his hands, forgetting that every hand moves under the command of thought. Yet it is thought, not toil, that determines outcome. Infinite intelligence does not respond to effort. It responds to frequency. The vibration of certainty rearranges reality with more precision than 1,000 frantic attempts. Emotion is the fuel that turns mental imagery into vibration. Without emotion, thought is like a lamp without electricity. You may repeat a phrase 100 times mechanically, but unless it burns with feeling, it will not illuminate your path. The decree, I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now. Thank God I made it, must be spoken not as words, but as fire. Each syllable must be charged with gratitude, which is the highest form of emotional electricity. Faith, in its truest sense, is the unseen electricity that powers the word. It is the invisible current that flows between mind and infinite intelligence. When you speak your decree with faith, you are sending a charged signal into the universe declaring that your command is law. That signal never dies. It moves, it attracts, it builds, until what you have spoken becomes visible form. Repetition is the generator that keeps the current alive. Every time you repeat your decree, you strike the tuning fork of belief again, keeping it vibrating until the air around you hums with certainty. In the beginning, your repetition may feel forced, for the old frequency of doubt still lingers. But persistence dissolves interference. Each utterance weakens disbelief. Each repetition strengthens faith. When the mind and the emotion finally move in rhythm, faith ceases to be a practice and becomes a state. You no longer try to believe. You are belief. That is the moment when vibration reaches perfect pitch. Infinite intelligence hears it and obeys it because it is the tone of creation itself, the same tone by which mountains rise and empires are born. Gratitude is the vibration of completion. When you say, thank God I made it, you do not beg. You affirm that the law has already acted. Gratitude turns faith from future expectation to present possession. It is the voice of the mind that knows it is already received. The law of vibration can never be fooled. It matches not your words, but your dominant feeling. Gratitude is the feeling of done. The subconscious mind is the engine room of creation. It operates 24 hours a day without pause, drawing to you the equivalent of your most consistent vibration. When you speak your decree 100 times, you are feeding that engine precise instructions. You are tuning it to one tone, the tone of certainty. When that tone becomes habitual, your subconscious broadcasts it continuously, even when you are silent. Edison understood this law when he worked through endless nights on the electric light. Each failure could have broken a lesser man, but his inner vibration remained constant. His assistants saw failure. He saw progression. His faith had achieved rhythm. No interruption could distort it. That rhythm brought light to the world. So it is with every creator. Success is the echo of vibration maintained without collapse. Carnegie applied the same principle in business. When steel prices fell and competitors panicked, he radiated calm confidence. His employees felt his certainty as tangibly as heat. "We will expand," he declared, while others contracted. His tone carried the vibration of abundance, and abundance obeyed. Men followed him not for his words alone, but for the invisible rhythm behind them, the rhythm of belief. Lincoln, in the darkest days of the Civil War, held that same vibration. When others despaired, his mind vibrated with unity. He said, "This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom." That phrase, spoken in faith, reshaped a country. The power was not in rhetoric, it was in vibration. His voice harmonized with the will of infinite intelligence. Understand that your own body is the instrument of this creative vibration. Your tone, your breath, your posture, all transmit energy. When you speak your decree with confidence, your very cells resonate with conviction. Faith is not abstract, it is physical. It flows through your nerves, strengthens your heartbeat, steadies your breath. When you affirm, "I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now," your body learns to feel what your mind believes. At first, you may notice resistance, the old vibration of fear attempting to pull you back into limitation. Do not fight it. Persist. Each repetition weakens its power. The mind cannot hold two frequencies at once. One must yield. Speak your decree until gratitude becomes the louder song. That song is faith taking root in the subconscious, and once it is rooted, no circumstance can uproot it. Faith is rhythmic certainty. Repetition is its drummer. Gratitude is its melody. Together they form the music of manifestation. Every successful man I have known moved to this rhythm. Ford marched to it while engineers mocked him. Edison hummed it through thousands of failures. Carnegie whistled it while others trembled. Each refused to break the tempo of faith. The words, "I'm so happy and grateful," carry within them a vibration that transforms thought from demand to decree. Gratitude is the signature of divine partnership. It tells infinite intelligence, "I already trust you." That trust releases resistance. When resistance ends, energy flows freely and manifestation accelerates. Do not rush your repetitions. The law of vibration does not respond to haste but to harmony. Speak slowly, breathe deeply, and feel the resonance of each word in your chest. Let emotion rise naturally. When tears come, let them. They are evidence that your inner current is moving. The stronger the feeling, the stronger the broadcast. When repetition becomes habit, the subconscious takes over the work. You will find the words rising to your lips without effort, even during daily tasks. You will catch yourself smiling in silence, feeling the reality of your goal as though it already surrounds you. That is the subconscious affirming, "It is done." From that point forward, results begin to appear as though summoned from thin air. You will notice subtle shifts first. A conversation that opens an unexpected door, a thought that leads to a solution, a coincidence that aligns with your vision. These are not miracles. They are mathematics. Your vibration has synchronized with its counterpart in the outer world, and law has connected cause with effect. Other men will not understand how you seem to attract fortune effortlessly. They will call it luck, but it is the organized obedience of vibration. You have tuned yourself to success, and success must respond. It cannot resist its own frequency. Persist in your practice until the decree feels natural. When spoken correctly, it no longer feels like affirmation. It feels like remembrance. You are not trying to create something new. You are reminding your mind of what already exists in potential. Infinite intelligence has already finished every creation. Faith merely unveils it. If doubt returns, increase your repetitions. Doubt is only vibration falling out of rhythm. The cure is persistence and gratitude. Keep saying the decree until calmness returns. The storm of fear cannot survive continuous rhythm. The drumbeat of gratitude silences it. Remember this: the subconscious cannot remain neutral. It must be dominated by either faith or fear. Every thought, every emotion, every word contributes to one or the other. Choose consciously. Speak faith until fear dies of starvation. As faith strengthens, your outer manner changes. Your voice gains depth, your words slow with confidence, your eyes focus with purpose. You become magnetic. Others will trust you without knowing why. They will feel drawn to your vibration, for it carries the assurance of leadership. That invisible magnetism is proof that the law is working through you. Edison's assistants once said that in his presence, discouragement felt impossible. That was his vibration. Carnegie's associates claimed they could not help believing when he spoke. That was his vibration. When you repeat your decree with faith and gratitude, you will begin to carry the same atmosphere, the aura of certainty that commands respect and cooperation. Infinite intelligence is not distant. It is the medium through which your vibrations travel. Every tone of faith you produce sets waves in motion that never cease. Somewhere in the invisible ether, every decree you speak is gathering its material equivalent. When you maintain the vibration of gratitude, those waves eventually condense into form. If you could see the unseen, you would never doubt again. You would see your words moving through space, aligning people, events, and resources to your decree. The man of weak faith stops too soon. His vibration fades before the structure is complete. The man of persistence continues daily until faith becomes identity, and identity attracts its likeness as surely as gravity draws objects to the earth. Therefore, speak your words with rhythm, conviction, and calm joy. Each morning and night, dedicate 5 minutes to the decree. Speak slowly with eyes closed and spine straight until the world around you fades and only your vibration remains. Feel gratitude flowing through every cell. Imagine infinite intelligence nodding in recognition. That moment of harmony is creation in motion. Say to yourself often, "My words are alive with faith. My voice is tuned to success. Each repetition strengthens my reality." These are not idle phrases. They are reminders of the law that governs all things. Faith without vibration is dream. Vibration without gratitude is noise. Combine them, and you possess the secret of every miracle man has ever witnessed. Soon, speaking your decree will no longer feel like practice. It will feel like breathing. You will know that each repetition is drawing invisible substance into visible order. You will sense that the unseen is working in your favor even while you rest. That realization marks the birth of true peace, the peace of knowing that what you desire must come because your vibration already contains it. In time, the results will arrive so naturally that you will forget you ever called them impossible. You will see how every moment of repetition, every surge of gratitude, every act of faith was a stroke of the brush painting your destiny. Then you will smile, whisper your decree once more, I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now, thank God I made it. And realize that you have spoken yourself into reality. There comes a moment in every man's life when he must decide who he is, not what he wants. Until that decision is made, he will wander between desires, claiming to seek success, but never stepping into the identity of the man who can command it. The law of identity governs all transformation. You do not attract what you wish for. You attract what you are. Every decree, every repetition of faith, every affirmation of gratitude is not merely a command to the outer world. It is an instruction to the inner self. Each time you say, I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now. Thank God I made it. You are telling your subconscious, this is who I am. And the subconscious, being the faithful servant of repetition, must eventually believe you. Once it believes, it transforms your vibration, your perception, and your behavior until your environment adjusts to your new identity. No man can escape the pattern of his self-image. You may temporarily act rich while thinking poor, but the subconscious will drag you back to the level of belief. You may attempt to speak with confidence while feeling unworthy, but your vibration will betray your words. The outer world is an echo of your inner identity, and it never lies. If you wish to change your results, you must first change the invisible image from which those results spring. The decree is the sculptor's chisel, shaping the unseen clay of self. Each repetition cuts away disbelief, reshapes self-concept, and fashions a new being. You are not repeating words to convince the world. You are repeating them to convince yourself. This is the secret that separates those who try from those who become. The unsuccessful man waits for evidence before believing. The successful man believes until evidence appears. He knows that belief is the mold into which reality must pour. By repeating his decree 100 times a day, he engraves that belief so deeply that the mind cannot contradict it. When the subconscious accepts a new identity, the world bends to mirror it. You cannot plant the seed of failure in thought and reap success in form. You cannot identify as weak and command power. You cannot think as a beggar and live as a master. The law is exact. Identity precedes possession. The key is not to force conditions, but to assume the inner posture of completion until it becomes natural. Think of the decree as a garment. Each time you repeat it, you stitch another thread into this robe of faith. In the beginning, it may feel oversized, like clothing that does not fit, but persistence tailors it to your form. One day you realize that it no longer feels like pretending, it feels like truth. You have become the man who once seemed imaginary. Edison called himself an inventor, long before the world saw him as one. Ford declared himself a manufacturer before he had a single factory. Carnegie thought in terms of millions while still working for pennies. They were not deceiving themselves. They were living from identity rather than condition. The man who knows who he is cannot be held captive by where he is. Your decree, repeated daily, performs this sacred transformation. It dissolves the old self that believed in limitation and births the new self that acts in harmony with faith. The weak mind says, I will be successful. The mastermind says, I am successful. The first postpones power. The second possesses it. Every repetition of gratitude is a hammer striking the old prison walls of doubt. The more you speak your decree, the weaker those walls become, until one day they collapse and you step freely into your new reality. The man who once begged life for mercy becomes the man to whom life gives without resistance. Understand this well. Identity is not built through intellect, but through impression. The subconscious does not reason. It accepts what is repeated with feeling. That is why persistence is essential. Each repetition writes a new line into your mental script. Each expression of gratitude deepens the conviction that your dream is already real. You may think of yourself as divided between two selves, the conditioned self, which lives by fear, and the chosen self, which lives by faith. The decree is the bridge between them. Each time you affirm your gratitude for what is already yours, you cross that bridge further. Eventually, the old self fades like a forgotten dream. You wake as the new man, unshakable, definite, radiant with belief. Others will notice the change before you do. They will sense something different in your tone, in your gaze, in the composure of your movements. The timid man they once knew now carries calm authority. His words ring with certainty. His laughter is deeper, his silence more commanding. That transformation is not illusion. It is the visible expression of a new identity. The moment you begin to speak gratitude as truth, the subconscious stops arguing and starts creating. It begins reorganizing your habits, guiding your attention, drawing to you the people and opportunities that match your new frequency. You may think coincidence is at work, but it is identity manifesting itself. Every change in fortune follows a change in self-concept. The pauper becomes rich the moment he believes himself worthy of riches. The sick man begins healing the moment he identifies with health. The lonely man attracts love when he becomes love within himself. Life has no choice but to reflect your inner verdict. The danger lies in contradiction. Many men affirm prosperity while speaking daily of struggle. They declare success while confessing fear. The subconscious receives mixed commands and delivers mixed results. The law of creation cannot operate in confusion. Therefore, let your words, your thoughts, and your emotions march in harmony. If you speak gratitude, think gratitude. If you affirm abundance, act abundantly. Do not talk of faith in 1 hour and complain of failure in the next. Every inconsistency resets the vibration. Speak only from your chosen identity and let silence cover the rest. There is no greater act of devotion than consistency of mind. Infinite intelligence honors those who hold a single vibration unwaveringly. When your inner and outer worlds agree, your decree becomes unstoppable. You will notice that effort decreases as results increase, struggle fades, replaced by flow. You no longer chase, you attract. The true miracle of this process is not that you receive what you want, it is that you become someone who cannot imagine living without faith. The man you were dissolves. In his place stands a being who no longer doubts, no longer waits, no longer seeks proof. His tone alone commands the cooperation of men and circumstance. This transformation is permanent because it is built upon gratitude. Fear can only live in the absence of thanksgiving. Gratitude declares abundance, and abundance annihilates fear. When you say, "I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now," you extinguish every vibration of lack. You affirm completeness. You tell infinite intelligence, "There is no delay, for I live in the finished work." As you continue, you will see your outer world change subtly at first, then swiftly. People will treat you differently, not out of obligation, but because your vibration demands it. They will see in you a reflection of the success they secretly desire. Opportunities will appear because your mind has become a magnet for their frequency. You will no longer seek validation. You will give it. Remember this truth. The world mirrors the image you hold of yourself. It is not cruel, nor kind. It is accurate. Change the image, and the reflection must follow. Each repetition of the decree is a brushstroke painting the portrait of the new you. Persist until the canvas is complete. Think of a salesman who tells himself daily, "I am the greatest closer in my industry." At first he says it timidly, but repetition strengthens tone. Soon his clients sense his conviction before he speaks. They feel guided, not persuaded. His success becomes inevitable because his belief has become identity. Or consider Lincoln. Before leading a divided nation, he carried the identity of unity within himself. His faith in human goodness never wavered, even when the world around him fell into chaos. His identity as a man of peace transformed war into resolution. That is the power of inner image expressed through calm conviction. The moment you fully assume your new identity, opposition loses meaning. You no longer interpret difficulty as failure, but as confirmation of strength. The old you would have quit. The new you persists. The old you needed approval. The new you gives direction. Every test becomes training. Every challenge refines character. In this state, repetition becomes pleasure. You no longer repeat your decree to make it true. You repeat it because it is true. Each declaration of gratitude feels like breathing, effortless, necessary, alive. You are not asking. You are affirming your own being. You will know you have reached transformation when the words no longer feel external. When you say, "I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now," and your heart answers, "Of course I do." That is faith realized, and not belief in process, but certainty of possession. This is the meaning of spiritual rebirth. You are not becoming something different. You are remembering what you have always been, a creator in partnership with the infinite. Every decree, every repetition, every grateful thought strips away the illusion of limitation until only the truth remains, that you and the law are one. Repeat this affirmation often. I am the man I have decided to be. My every thought agrees with my purpose. I act from completion, not from lack. Let it remind you that you are not chasing dreams. You are embodying them. The decree is no longer a tool. It is your reflection. When others see your composure, your quiet certainty, your peace under pressure, they will wonder what changed. You may tell them the truth. I began speaking my gratitude until I became it. They will not understand immediately, for the world has forgotten the language of faith. But some will feel the vibration of your words, and their own transformation will begin. The final proof of this law is that once identity changes, results must follow. The poor man who truly believes himself rich cannot remain poor, for his decisions, associations, and opportunities will shift to match his new vibration. The weak who believe themselves strong begin to act boldly, and courage gathers allies. The fearful who identify with faith cease to attract calamity. Law always confirms identity. This is the great revelation. Your success is not something to pursue, but something to remember. It already exists within the mind of infinite intelligence, waiting for you to claim it through repetition, belief, and gratitude. When you speak your decree, you awaken that dormant image and call it into visible form. From this day, speak as the man who has arrived. Think as the one who no longer doubts. Walk as the one who knows he is favored by law. Let your tone, your bearing, and your silence declare mastery. You need no permission, no proof, no sign. Your word, spoken in faith, is the sign. When your mind fully accepts this truth, life can do nothing but follow. The mountains of difficulty dissolve because the man who spoke them into being has vanished. In his place stands a creator, calm, definite, grateful, and whole. So I say to you, Repeat your decree until you forget that it was ever a phrase. Let it become the heartbeat of your identity. And when someone asks the secret of your transformation, you will smile and answer simply, I decided who I was and spoke it until the universe agreed. The spoken word is only the beginning. To decree is to plant. To act in faith is to cultivate. The law of completion demands harmony between belief and behavior. Once you have impressed the subconscious through repetition, gratitude, and faith, the proof of mastery must appear in conduct. The man who truly believes cannot remain idle. His every movement becomes an extension of his decree. To complete creation, one must live as if the work were already done. Acting as if is not deception. It is participation in the finished pattern. Infinite intelligence has already prepared the result the moment faith is declared. You are not working toward your goal. You are working from it. Every act performed in that awareness speeds its manifestation. Every doubt delays it. The universe has no room for contradiction. You cannot affirm abundance in speech and act from fear in behavior. You cannot say, I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now, and then spend the day complaining about lack. The law does not judge you by intention, but by vibration. When your actions match your words, your decree gains power. When they oppose each other, your vibration cancels itself. To live in faith is to walk as one who already possesses. You buy, plan, decide, and speak with the calm confidence of completion. You do not wait for opportunity. You prepare for it. You do not ask whether your goal is possible. You arrange your life around its certainty. The man who truly believes acts without anxiety because he knows law cannot fail. Faith in action is the highest proof of understanding. You may speak your decree 100 times a day, but if your conduct contradicts your confession, you remain divided. The subconscious receives mixed signals and manifests confusion. The complete man, however, lives in agreement with his command. His words, thoughts, and deeds form one current, moving in a single direction. This is what separates the dreamer from the doer. The dreamer waits for signs before acting. The doer acts as the sign. Faith without action is untested. Action without faith is aimless. But faith expressed through deliberate motion becomes irresistible. It transforms energy into momentum, momentum into results. Ford knew this law instinctively. When engineers told him that the 8-cylinder engine was impossible, he did not argue. He simply said, "Produce it." Those two words were not optimism, they were law in action. He moved as one who had already succeeded, and his certainty magnetized the intellect of others. Months later, his engineers stood astonished as the impossible became fact. The man of action guided by faith never hesitates. He may plan with care, but once decided, he moves without doubt. Hesitation is the offspring of fear. Decisiveness is the proof of belief. Every act of faith sends a message to infinite intelligence. I trust your law more than my eyes. And the law, sensing conviction, responds with precision. To act in harmony with your decree, you must become sensitive to intuition, that quiet guidance which rises from the subconscious once belief has taken root. Faith opens the inner ear. When you have repeated your decree with persistence, you will find that new ideas begin to appear effortlessly. You will wake with sudden clarity, or meet someone whose words answer a question you never spoke aloud. These are not accidents. They are instructions from infinite intelligence. When intuition speaks, obey it quickly. The man who delays converts inspiration into doubt. Every intuitive nudge is a divine signal aligned with your decree. By acting immediately, you prove your faith and keep vibration strong. Faith unexpressed weakens. Faith acted upon multiplies. Rockefeller practiced this principle. During financial storms that ruined competitors, he remained calm. When markets collapsed, he acted deliberately, buying while others sold, building while others feared. His composure was not arrogance, it was faith expressed in decision. He knew that panic destroys order, and order is the language of wealth. His quiet confidence turned crises into empires. Faith in action is not noise, it is quiet decisiveness. It is the ability to move forward without visible support, to persist when reason hesitates, to rest when others rush, and to trust when the outcome is unseen. The man of faith moves by rhythm, not reaction. He knows that infinite intelligence directs timing as precisely as gravity directs fall. The impatient mind tries to force results. It plants seeds and digs them up to see if they've sprouted. The faithful mind plants and waters with gratitude, knowing the law of gestation governs all creation. To rush the process is to distrust the law. The man who acts in faith moves with calm deliberation. He knows that everything is unfolding in perfect order. When you live by this principle, coincidence becomes daily companion. Opportunities arise where logic predicted none. The right person appears at the exact hour needed. Delay turns out to be protection. Obstacles reveal hidden instruction. To the unbelieving, this seems miraculous. To the man of faith, it is the natural result of vibration and law in perfect accord. Each time you act in alignment with your decree, you strengthen the structure of belief within you. The mind begins to trust itself. Confidence grows, and with it, the magnetic field that surrounds you. People sense it. They defer to your calm. They feel safer in your presence. They cannot explain why, but they obey your vibration as surely as iron obeys a magnet. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps action aligned with belief. When you feel grateful, hesitation vanishes. Gratitude is the assurance that what you desire already exists in the invisible. Each act done in gratitude carries the stamp of certainty. To thank before receiving is to seal the law of completion. The man who masters this principle walks with quiet joy even before success appears. He no longer asks when or how. He simply lives as one who has arrived. His speech becomes gentler, his eyes calmer, his laughter deeper. The vibration of gratitude releases the tension that once bound him. He is no longer climbing toward his dream. He is dwelling in it. Repetition continues even after results appear. Just as breathing sustains life, affirmation sustains vibration. The purpose of the decree is not only to attract, but to maintain order. The same law that creates must preserve. By continuing to speak gratitude after manifestation, you keep the channels of abundance open. To stop affirming is to stop expanding. Let your actions become living affirmations. Every gesture, every decision, every hour of labor should say, "Thank God I made it." Speak it when you rise and live it when you move. Gratitude is not a word. It is a way of walking. The man who lives gratefully walks as a king, for he knows that all things serve him in divine timing. When results seem delayed, maintain rhythm. Delay is never denial, it is refinement. The law is not testing you, it is aligning the details of manifestation. Each day that passes without visible change is a day that strengthens unseen roots. Faith in action refuses to panic when evidence is absent. The seed grows quietly before the bloom appears. If doubt tries to enter, respond with immediate action. Write another plan, take another step, speak another decree. Faith grows through motion. The still mind stagnates, the active mind expands. Every act of courage reaffirms the subconscious instruction that you are a creator, not a victim. Consider Lincoln again. When the war seemed endless and the nation's faith faltered, he continued to act with quiet certainty. "We shall finish the work we are in," he said, and he moved as though victory were inevitable. His calmness did not come from ignoring reality, but from understanding law. He knew that persistence guided by principle must prevail. Faith in action transforms every obstacle into opportunity. A closed door is merely redirection. A loss is only transition. The calm believer sees the hidden order behind apparent chaos. He acts not from reaction, but from revelation. His actions are deliberate, his emotions steady, his progress unstoppable. The outer world will soon adjust to mirror this inner alignment. Business will seem to flow, people will cooperate, solutions will appear. The law of correspondence ensures that the outer reflects the inner precisely. Once your thoughts, words, and deeds harmonize, reality must echo that harmony. To maintain this state, practice daily silence. 5 minutes of stillness allows infinite intelligence to renew your rhythm. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and repeat inwardly, "I am grateful now, for it is done. Infinite intelligence fulfills my word. I live in the finished vision. Feel peace settle over you. This is the vibration of completion, calm certainty that needs no evidence." As faith matures, action becomes effortless. You will find yourself guided by intuition rather than obligation. What once required discipline becomes delight. You act with precision, yet without strain. You do not chase results. You allow them to unfold. The line between thought and manifestation grows thin until it disappears altogether. Others will marvel at your composure. They will ask how you remain calm while others hurry, how you prosper while others worry. You will smile and know that you are living by law, not by chance. They will call it talent, but it is alignment. They will call it fortune, but it is faith in motion. Let every man who hears these words remember, action is the outer evidence of inner belief. To proclaim faith without deed is to speak into the wind. The decree that transforms must be lived, not merely uttered. Speak your gratitude, yes, but also walk it, work it, and embody it. The man who does this carries creative power wherever he goes. Soon you will find that what once seemed effort becomes nature. The decree no longer feels like repetition, it feels like remembrance. You act from an invisible certainty that all things are already arranged in your favor. Fear will attempt to return, but it will find no room in a mind filled with completion. Faith in action produces peace under pressure. You will notice that problems no longer disturb you as they once did. Challenges become opportunities for demonstration. The calmness you maintain in adversity is the measure of your mastery. To be unmoved in uncertainty is to stand upon the foundation of divine order. When a man reaches this level, he lives as a law unto himself. His thoughts attract, his emotions heal, his actions command. He has entered the rhythm of infinite intelligence. Every breath, every step, every word carries authority. Others feel his presence and sense that he is guided by something beyond intellect, the unseen power of definite faith. This is the royal mind in motion. It does not shout, it simply knows. It does not rush, it arrives. It does not doubt, it declares. Such a man no longer seeks success. He radiates it. He does not pray for strength. He expresses it. His gratitude is constant because he recognizes himself as a channel of the infinite. When you reach this understanding, you realize that creation was never incomplete. Every decree, every act of gratitude, every motion of faith has already been recorded in the divine order. You are merely aligning with the finished pattern. The moment you believe completely, you stand in what already exists. Therefore, let the closing act of your day be gratitude in motion. Do not end your decree with words alone. Write one letter of thanks, help one soul, complete one task with excellence. Action sanctifies affirmation. The man who gives from faith multiplies his wealth, for he has become a vessel of circulation. When your days and your deeds are harmonized with your decree, you will wake each morning with the quiet joy of certainty. You will no longer question whether your dream will come true. You will only wonder how much greater the result will be than you imagined. Infinite intelligence always exceeds the size of man's request. Let this be your final affirmation. I am grateful now, for it is done. Infinite intelligence fulfills my word. I live in the finished vision. Say it when you rise. Say it when you labor. Say it when you rest. Let it remind you that all power flows from the mind that acts in gratitude. And when that day arrives, the day when your dream stands visible, when the impossible has yielded, remember to look back not with pride, but with reverence. You will see that it was not the world that changed first, but you. The words you spoke became the man you became, and the man you became shaped the world around him. So stand today as creator, not beggar. Speak your decree, live your gratitude, and move as one who has already arrived. The law of completion will meet you halfway and carry you the rest. And one morning, perhaps without realizing it, you will whisper the words with calm delight. I'm so happy and grateful that I have it now. Thank God I made it. That is the moment when faith becomes fact, when word becomes world, and when man becomes master of his destiny.